Randomly about 2 years ago, I downloaded Kickstarter on my phone just for fun. Mainly because, hey, there are plenty of big standout indie games that came from here, and plenty of games that, while are not masterpieces, are still hilarious to think about and discuss and meme and all that. Then I remembered at the time I was about to enter high school and I was extremely poor, so I couldn't support any of them. So I wanted to help them out with exposure and looked through them for game Kickstarters and noticed a name that caught my eye, Other Her Loving Embrace. I watched the trailer, looked through the Kickstarter and thought, that looks very epic. And then I put it in the back of my mind and deleted Kickstarter a few months later. So, jump to about December of last year and I found through a NitroRad video that there was a demo released right on the Kickstarter from a year ago, and I tried it out. And for the past few months, as a lot of people know, I've been trying to get everyone I could possibly know play this game. And because the game is currently a demo, and I want there to have as many people to try it out as possible, I'll remain as unspoilery as I could possibly be. I think it might actually be a first for this kind of video for me. But my goal is to make you play this game. So here is my unspoilery review of a demo which is on its way to become one of my favorite indie games. So the story opens up with this opening talking about the order of creation. Before we get to the title screen, go to the options menu and make the game full screen, and then jump into the game. It starts out with an opening featuring very funny drawings from the main character Gershom, an 11-year-old boy who has been blessed by the powers of magic and cursed by the powers of a horrible haircut. Mob Psycho Jr. is followed around by my favorite character in the game, and one of my favorites in terms of concept and design, the Wizard. This asshole takes Gershom as an apprentice to stop the spirit problem going around in their world, and acts like this all-powerful wizard, but is really a sketchy dumbass who doesn't know shit about magic. He doesn't even use magic attacks in battles. The dynamic between these two is consistently entertaining, and the dialogue as a whole is very good. From what I see in the updates, other characters will get expanded upon as well, like the shopkeeper Ruby, and I can't wait to see where those all get headed in the full game. Now, let's move on to the presentation. The visuals for the game is probably going to be the most polarizing thing about it, since it uses not really 8-bit, but sort of a bridge between 8 and 16, more so 4 to 8. It's like Undertale in a way, but they feel modern enough to where they don't feel like they could run on an NES. I've seen the argument that a few of these games look ugly, but I think it looks fine. It's charming. It's neat to look at. The demo also runs fairly well with a consistent 60 FPS with really only one drop, and it wasn't even that big. The music, though, is consistently amazing. Personal favorites are Ember of the Heart, Divine Supremacy, and Happy Campers, but the whole soundtrack is genuinely great. Considering how Quincy Pringle was mostly known for music before working on this game, this should have come to a surprise to no one that it turned out this good. Anyway, now let's talk about the actual game to this game. The overworld stuff is pretty standard. Zelda-style overworld exploration with secrets to find, equipment to equip, and overworld puzzles. Gershom can use 2 spells in the demo, encasing stuff in a bubble, and teleportation. The Solastra dungeon, where the bulk of this demo takes place, uses these abilities as well as block-pushing puzzles. And how much you'll enjoy the demo depends on how much you enjoy these types of puzzles. I personally really like these puzzles, and, well, they make me feel like a dumbass, but But even if I tried for a really long time on them, they were still fun and not really tedious. Okay, I'm trying my best to stall long enough before talking about the absolute, no question best part of the game, the battles. But let me take a look at this from a different perspective. You know how RPGs for the past 10 years have been trying to mix turn-based combat with action-based combat to make it feel more interesting? Final Fantasy Remake's ATB system, Undertale's bullet hell elements, and games like Paper Mario Bug Fails and Iconfell that use action commands. Other, in my opinion, is exactly what I was hoping for when a mix between these types of combat would be brought up. Simply put, this is the best battle system for an RPG I've ever played. So, you could either pick a normal attack or a spell. If you pick a normal attack, you go into a mini platform arena and wail on your opponent like your name is Datnay from Dovel June Cree, or Tierhor from Banjo Nessa. Every hit feels really satisfying, the controls are very responsive, and the juggling you do in this mode can get insane at points. This also goes for the opponent's turns as well, where you just need to dodge them. And some of these attacks are fairly difficult to avoid the first few times you run into them. When doing a special attack, it's a little minigame like a roulette wheel or an MNL style button timing minigame. I've seen people say that the minigames are boring compared to the main combat, and well, yeah, it is, but it's still enjoyable. I hope some of the ones that they put in the full game will be more fun and involved, because I still enjoy the ones that we have right now. I just wish that they would be more fun than the base combat. And considering the updates I'm seeing, like multiple enemies, partners, and other aesthetic changes, I couldn't be more hyped to play the full game. A neat little bow on this battle system is the boss of the demo, which basically shoots this game into legendary for me. I'm not gonna spoil it, but this is probably one of the most entertaining fights in a turn-based RPG. So yeah, I don't really have too much to say about this, because it's just a free 90-minute demo. But from what I've played, it's excellent. If I had to criticize a few things, it would probably be the torch placement. In the second half of the dungeon, I went through the whole one, clearing out half the puzzles, and then died and had to start them all over again. That didn't feel too hot. And like I said, this game could look visually better. But I still would absolutely recommend this game. It's free, quick, great, and can help this game be more well known. This battle system is seriously amazing, as is the music, as is the story, as is the characters. I have immense amounts of respect for Pringle and everyone else at Chimera Labs, and I really hope this game takes off when it releases.